How's it going, folks? I'm joined by our mentor and instructor Bander again today, and we're going to go ahead and answer, I would say, probably one of the most important questions that people feel very stressed out about, which is how to navigate your first 30, 90 days on the new job. A lot of the people that are going through the Elevate program here, as soon as they land the job, they're like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, like how to prepare for it. Bander's actually going to give us a very realistic overview of what that's like. Bander, how you doing today?
Doing good, Rich. How are you?
Not too bad, man. So let's talk shop. I mean, you have a very long and decorated list of certifications, and you've worked in a variety of roles in cybersecurity. Going into cybersecurity for the first time without any prior experience, like what is the first like let's go ahead and break it down chronologically. Like what is the expectation the first week on the job? What's the first 30 days like on the job? What's like the first 3 months like on the job?
Sure. Yeah, I think it depends on the size of the company and also what you do in cyber. Uh, Through my experience, the first week or so is you know getting to meet the team, understanding also finishing the HR process, and then once you're done with that, I think meeting also with your team, understanding what everyone role is, and once you're done with that, the second or third week, you'll start getting access to the tools that you're supposed to get access to, and from there you'll be, and that's like week three, and once you're done with that, it depends again on the company and how big it is. The first month or so, they'll just shadowing people, understanding the workflow, because some organization have massive cybersecurity teams that consist of you know hundreds of people, and sometimes it's thousands of people. So understanding the workflow and having relationship with people that you might need in the long term, to do your work, and then also understanding the technology that the company is using and how to use them to eventually help the team to do the work. So I would say the first, as I mentioned, the first month it'd be like getting access, meeting the team, understanding the workflow. The second month, that's when you get access to the tools, understanding the tools, how it works, shadowing people, understanding the workflow of the team, and that's the second month. And then the third month is the expectation is you still learning, because there's a lot of things that you might have already met the team and shadowed some members of the team, understand the workflow, but then you still on month three you'll be start doing the actual work, and at that time the expectation is that you might encounter new things that you haven't had a chance to see in your first 2 months, and also you'll be learning a lot in the first 3 months. And I think the expectation for a lot of managers that I worked with is that you'll learn as much as you can during these 3 months, and that's meeting the team, understanding the workflow, having access to technology, learning and getting trained on the technologies that the company is using.
Got it, got it. Okay, what about like the first, sometimes I have heard stories where people they wait like almost 2 weeks or even longer to get access to like their company laptop.
Mhm.
Uh Honestly, this isn't a knock on cybersecurity, but um across the board,
Yeah.
onboarding new team members is something that I think a lot of companies in America is really lacking.
Yeah, no.
Like I think the only country that I saw that really did it right in terms of recruiting was like recruiting and onboarding was Germany. Like it's like tip top. Like they're starting on this day. Like we have to have everything ready. Coming from a recruiting background, a lot of times they're like, oh shit, the guy's starting tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's very true. I mean, you'll find, yeah, your manager even forgot about your start date. So it's yeah, it happens to me. I remember like one of the previous companies I started, and then my manager didn't realize that was my start date. He's like, "Oh, I thought you're starting next week." So no, that definitely happens.
100%, man. Okay. Let's talk about what are the expectations the first month in. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews of people that have gone on to the role, which is the first 30 days. Some of them say that, really the first 2 weeks or even 3 weeks, they don't really want you to really do much or touch much because just out of fear that you might make a mistake, careless or otherwise. Um, and then some other people, they actually tell me that they got to do a little bit more hands-on work. What is, generally speaking, if you can remember, like, when you first got onto the role in the very, very beginning, like what's the general expectation 30 days in?
Yeah, so my first role in cyber was in a large organization. So I remember the first few month or so, just meeting people, just understanding the workflow of cyber in that organization, and who to reach out to when I need X task, or who do I need to talk to, or what team is doing this specific function in the cyber organization. That was the expectation. And also learning the tools, right? Like the tools that the company is using. And again, right, like I work in incident response, so understanding also, like we need, certain IT teams within the organization that I have to build relationship with. Otherwise, I can't get the work done. So the expectation was that to learn, the environment, learn the tools, building relationship with the, people and the teams that were involved with our teams, and understanding the, the workflow of the cyber organization. That was the expectation. Not only the first month, but the first 2 months or so.
Got it. Okay. If I was to go out there and kind of list out,
Mhm.
uh, what do you think what do you think the expectations are within the first like by 90 days into your new role? Um, I feel like 90 days in, it for some people it can go by really fast. For some people it can feel like an entire year. But
Mhm.
like 90 days, day 70 to like day 90, it's kind of like when you travel, right? Like you
Yeah,
go to a different city. Sometimes people like when I go to a different city, it's like 2 weeks is like I feel like a kind of a long time sometimes.
yeah, yeah,
When I went to Barcelona last year, it was like, okay, like I think 4 or 5 days into it, just kind of felt like home.
yeah.
But like 90 days in, you kind of know what you're doing. 90 days in, like what are the expectations?
So 90 days in, I think at that point, a lot of team, might expect you that you can contribute at this point to the team. Not as much as, the people who've been, of course, longer in the team. But at that point, you can contribute on certain tasks that, you are comfortable with. And that's, a discussion that you'll have with, your direct report or manager that you work with on what is the expectation after the 90 days. But still, right, like I mean, again, right, like it depends on the size of the company that you work for. 90 days in some organization is just you'll still there's a lot to learn, right? And some organization, in startups or smaller size companies, you can contribute more than uh, when you are in a big company where, there's a lot of things that you haven't encountered yet. And yeah, there's still a lot to learn, at day number 90, I would say.
Got it. What would you say are the biggest challenges for people that are entering in the field the first time? Like, and they could be any challenges. Some of the challenges that I've heard is for some people it was not doing as much as they thought they were gonna do. Like they kind of feel like they're going into the field to be cyber warfare
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
know.
yeah. I think some of the things that I've seen is that it depends on the cyber role that you're doing. We do a lot of investigation, so that's very interesting. And then you learn about threat actors. That's the interesting part. But there are also other aspects of in the job that you might have to do a lot of it. And people don't, when they get into uh e- early in their career and they get into a role, they're really excited about doing the investigation, the pen testing, the offensive cybersecurity work. But then, there's other part of cybersecurity that, they'll not have to do a lot of it, which is, reporting, writing reports, doing presentations. So we do a lot of that in my role and also in my team. The other part is that, um, you know, they you know they join a team or they join a company, again, right, some of them don't have official or degree in cybersecurity, so they haven't done that in school. So they always come with a concern that that would be a big challenge. But at the end of the day, like if you put in the time and you try to learn as much as you can during the first 90 days, you'll be able to contribute as much as someone who done an official degree in cybersecurity. And again, like going through certification, that would be a really important thing because you'll have the same things that you'll learn in college, but in a shorter time.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So those are the biggest challenges of
Mm.
the first 90 days. I don't really think those challenges are actually that big. So get in contact with Elevate. We'd love to go out there and talk to you, not only help you transition to your first cybersecurity role, but also help you subsequently after you started your first cybersecurity job. In the next video, I'm actually going to be talking to something I think pretty important with Bander, which is how to go ahead and increase cybersecurity salaries and how to make more money in cybersecurity. So, Bander, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. I'm looking forward to speaking with you very soon.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate it.
Thank you.